Good morning, and thank you for joining me for yet another Gribbly's Folly Sunday Antisocial Hour. What is wrong with you people? I am traveling. I said I wasn't going to make any videos because I'm working a lot. That is true, but I couldn't let this go. My whole shtick is that I'm antisocial, right? That's why everyone tunes in to hear me complain about humanity while answering all of its questions. By the way, if you are a piece of humanity with a question for me, leave it in the comments down below. Hashtag it AskGribbs. I will answer any question, but I hope everyone knows that underneath the antisocial mask is a true regard for each and every one of you, and that I want the best for everyone, but that's done now. I'm over that. What is it that has caused me to finally disregard the last little bit of positivity I had to give up? The last shred of hope? Not Donald Trump, not the election, not the economy, not the pending world war, not the bird flu pandemic that we all know is coming, but we also know that everyone's gonna try to anti-mask and anti-vax their way out of it, just like they did with COVID. Not any of that. Not all the certain doom that we're facing. No, it's Yeti coolers. Let's start from the beginning. I am traveling. I'm carrying a lot of expensive electronics, and also I like coffee. So I am traveling with a hydro flask, right? And this thing right here, this thing has failed me for the last time. Yesterday, it spilled coffee all over my everyday carry bag and down my ass in front of everyone, and I'm done. So I finally get some downtime after a very hard day, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to find myself a better thermos. And I got on Google Maps and I Googled up a Bass Pro. Went to Bass Pro for the first and last time in my life. As you know, I am based in beautiful Asheville, North Carolina, where I do a lot of wedding work, but every now and then I get a little bit of extra work south of the border, down here, over the state line, in hell. We talked about this last year. We talked about why can't people book me for jobs down here in January? Why does it have to be July? So last night, after the heat of the day, when it was a nice, cool 85 degrees, I went out to Bass Pro here in Greenville, South Carolina. I went out to Bass Pro. Never been. Walk in the Bass Pro. What greets me in the lobby? A fireplace as tall as I am. I am not making this up. They're running a giant fireplace in Greenville in July. So right there, upon walking in the store, I was like, there is no way I'm spending a dime in this place. If you've got enough money to run a fireplace in July, you don't need my tiny little contribution. But I had driven across town to get there. So I thought, at least I'm going to look around. I'm going to go look at some AR-15s or some duck calls or something. By the way, I did find a duck call called the Double Nasty. What kind of ducks are you looking for if you are using the Double Nasty duck call? Someone explain this to me. I've never gone duck hunting. I have very little hunting experience to begin. What is there, like a Siamese twin duck with deviant sexual tendencies? What is this supposed to bring in? So I'm wandering around Bass Pro looking for the thermoses, and I come across the giant aquariums, the fish tanks, and they got all these fish, like game fish. They got game fish in these aquariums, and they're like bigger than my head and twice as pale. These are not healthy fish. There's a smallmouth bass in there that looks like a pancake with the syrup on it. That's not the color they're supposed to be. The brook trout in the Greenville, South Carolina Bass Pro. This is not a native fish to Greenville. The brook trout has a hump in its back like Quasimodo. I'm like, I've seen less deformed fish come directly out of the hatchery. What is wrong with the fish chooser? Who gets that job in the back room at the Greenville Bass Pro? I start looking around for the thermos section so I can at least look at models, right? And then maybe I can buy one on Amazon later. And so I go find the thermos section, but it is no longer a thermos section. It is just a Yeti swag section. Apparently, Yeti coolers have taken over the entire market share of any product that is supposed to keep things isothermal. And a bunch of products that aren't. What the hell? You're a cooler company. You make coolers. Why are you selling a $300 camping chair? Where are you camping that you want to take a $300 chair? I would love to be rich. I would love to have more money than sense, but I wouldn't love to be stupid. So I try not to get distracted by the unchristian largesse of Yeti coolers, and I try to just look for a thermos, for a 20-ounce thermos that is all one shape, that doesn't start here and then become a bulbous mass of engorged thermostude. These are my requirements for a thermos. Number 1, keep my coffee hot. Number 2, be able to fit in my bag. Why do you need 48 ounces of coffee? What could you possibly do with that much? I want it to fit in my bag. And then the last requirement is that I want a lid that actually closes. This lid does close most of the time. Most of the time is not good enough when you're talking about hot fluids. That's what she said. The Yeti version of this, at least at Bass Pro, I'm sure Yeti does make something like this, but apparently what the Bass Pro customers want is easily twice this size, and it costs $80. I'm sure it's a very good thermos, but I would use a styrofoam cup from McDonald's and throw $80 out my car window before I bought a Yeti product. You have heard me make fun of the Yeti loadout bucket. You've heard, it's been a while. But at least, okay, they had the buckets. They didn't have any prices on the buckets, because I was planning to complain about that. I was like, oh man, I'm going to see what those buckets are up to. That will be the subject of a wonderful Sunday Antisocial. They didn't have any prices on the buckets. So I looked at the coolers. This is what's wrong with our society. $600 for $600. There is no one watching this that needs a $600 cooler. If you need a $600 cooler, it was already purchased by the hospital that's running the organ transplant. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear your justification. If you are not helicoptering a still beating human heart to a dying little girl across the state, you do not need a $600 cooler. I got online to read who are the people buying these $600? Oh, well, it keeps ice frozen for a week. That's great. You know what else can do that? A freezer, and they're cheaper. Why do you need to keep your ice frozen for a week? Where are you? Where have you gone that you need to keep your ice frozen for a week, but you're still packing in a 100-pound cooler full of ice? And what gets me here, we're going to bring the tone down because this is about to get serious. I took my kid to Best Buy the other day to look at Nintendo Switches because he's saved up his money. He's going to buy a Nintendo Switch. Best Buy was filthy, and we were met at the door by an armed guard. Half the shelves were empty, and there were way more employees than people. Like, there were so many employees that's like, you know, when a store is closing and they hire extra employees to help close it out, it had that feel to it. When I was growing up, Best Buy was the place where we went because we came down from our tiny little shithole town in the woods to Best Buy to experience culture. There was no place to buy CDs. There was no place to buy movies. There was no place to buy, you know, the first PlayStation in the town where we grew up. We came down from the hills to go to Best Buy. We didn't have any money. We just wanted to look at the culture. Now you go to Best Buy and it's tumbleweeds and junkies shooting up in the bathroom. That's sad, but whatever. I mean, I don't care. It's a big box retail store. What do I care? But I went into Bass Pro. They got a fireplace like it's the Grove Park Inn, and everything in there costs $1 bajillion. And it hit me, this is the culture now. We're so saturated with electronics and media and everything trying to steal our attention that we actually want to go outside again, right? We're like, oh, I'm a camper. I'm an outdoors person. I'm going to go to Bass Pro. That's where I like to shop. But when you get there, the same capitalistic urge has done the same thing. Instead of paying $500 for a TV set that probably cost Samsung $25 to make, you now go and you buy a Yeti cooler that you know is just a cooler. Electronics were expensive. A TV was expensive. A PlayStation was expensive. These things, they had some kind of value, right? You cannot build a PlayStation on a PCB at your house. I mean, I'm sure some people can, but I cannot build a PlayStation by myself. I can get some styrofoam and some grocery bags and make a cooler. So our culture has moved from electronics being the hot thing to outdoorsmanship being one of the hot things. I'm sure there's other stores that do the same thing, but you still don't get any actual value. You're not buying a Yeti cooler to keep things cold. You're buying a Yeti bumper sticker that comes with the cooler. I'm sure there's a million people that have a Yeti cooler and never talk about it or show it to anybody because they're wealthy enough to afford it. They walk into a store, they buy a cooler. The people that put the Yeti bumper stickers on the back of their lifted trucks, it's you guys. You're what's wrong with the world. Do you have a bumper sticker on your car for your refrigerator, for your washing machine? Are you driving down the road in your lifted F950 with a Maytag sticker? It is one thing to signal who you are. I think I don't do it, but that's a function. I mean, I'm sure I do it in subconscious ways, but that's a function of fashion and society and bumper stickers, whatever. If who you are is the cooler that you own, you got bigger problems. So I left Bass Pro in disgust and I went to Academy Sports. I've never been to Academy Sports either. It was right across the street. Went over there looking for a better thermos. Still couldn't find one. That's not the point. It was, Academy is a step down in terms of the glitzy marketing bullshit. Much more like a Walmart, but only for sporting goods. But we're in Academy, right? And so there's some new brand that's obviously marketed toward yoga moms. So it's not Hydro Flask, because I think Hydro Flask is kind of a yoga mom brand, right? Not Hydro Flask. It's some new brand I've never heard of. And they've got these thermoses and they're all like $50-$60 and none of them, they've got the skinny neck. Like, are you drinking wine from your thermos after your yoga class? Anyway, so then, and I'm like considering this, right? Because I really do want a new thermos. And then I see that this brand also has a product called a bottle boot. It's a rubber boot for your bottle. No, I am not going to buy from a brand that sells a boot for the bottle. The whole point of the bottle is it's a self-contained container. I don't want a container for my container. Look at the packaging on the bottle boot. It says, hey there, I'm a bottle boot. If the product has to introduce itself and tell you what it is, you don't need the product. So in both the upscale sporting goods store and the low scale sporting goods store, they're taking your money for things that have no value. And people are lined up to give them their money. There's always going to be impulse buys. There's always going to be brand-based marketing. I understand that. This thing is new. This, whatever this is new. And what bothers me the most, like, let's be real here. It's not the store's fault. It's not Yeti's fault. It's the consumer's fault. This is how stupid people are. Once again, we're living in idiocracy. Once again, it's like, you got Hulk Hogan introducing your presidential candidate. I don't know where we go. How do you come back from that? So I'm sitting here in a parking garage and I would love to answer all of your Ask Gribbs questions, but I think I'm going to have to pass this week because it's like 100 degrees out there. And even in here, I sat in the car for 20 minutes with the AC rolling to like get it to a point where I could make this video. And it's pretty hot. So I would have to, therefore, burn gasoline. This is counterproductive. I would have to burn gasoline. They should put a freaking turbine over the gas fireplace in Bass Pro and allow people to hook up their car ACs to it. Or I guess they're Tesla chargers, but there's a whole nother topic. So what I'm saying is I want to answer your questions, but I am sweating. And so I'm going to cut this short. And my schedule is insane, but I'm going to try to keep making these with my crazy summer schedule. Because I need this. No one else will listen. My wife does not. She's already heard about the Yeti coolers. Like when I told her I was going to Bass Pro, she was just like, oh God. Tell me this. Here's some questions. While we're talking about brands, are Mossberg shotguns actually better than the Maverick 88 shotguns? I know there's something about the rail, in the action. I asked the guy behind the counter at Academy Sports if I could see a Maverick shotgun, and he took like 45 seconds it was right there in front of him, like 45 seconds to find the Maverick shotgun, which tells me that he doesn't know what a shotgun is. Like it was like there's shotguns and there's rifles, and he was like looking at the rifles, like which one of these is the Maverick 12 gauge shotgun? Like, dude, you work at a sporting goods store. But I gotta get a new shotgun because I bought the double nasty duck call, so I guess I'm going duck hunting. Thank you for watching this edition of a big fat rotisserie chicken sitting and sweating in his car talking about branding. Why do you watch this channel? Thank you so much. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.